Welcome to another episode of Mamelodi Sundowns TV with myself, Teko, and Tiyani Mabunda Sugar. We do have a guest. Coach, for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Tshabalala, Mamelodi Sundowns ladies team head coach.
Kappa.
Yeah.
The legend himself.
The one and the only.
In the flesh.
So, Coach, I just want us to reflect on the Women's Champions League, especially now that the ladies couldn't defend the Champions League title. And Sugar, remember with us as well, after winning it, we failed to defend it immediately. So I just want to probably maybe you first tell us about the challenges that men's team faced in terms of defending that title, and then I'll probably get to the coach as well to give his input on to the ladies being unable to defend their title.
Yeah, you know, like you say, it was a bit difficult for us to defend our title after winning the Champions League, which is in most cases expected, because now you know that you've done it and then you've got the formula, but now our opponents also know how we managed to win it. So they plan properly as compared to the way they would have when we won it. So I think it was a bit difficult for us because we also had pressure on ourselves to prove that we can win it again. We can win it again because it felt like now we've got the formula. But to our surprise, that people had now studied us. They had more knowledge of how we play. They had more knowledge on who our key players and how our key players are and what their strengths are. So it was a bit difficult because also changes within the team really brings a difference, because you want the new players to also find synergy with the experienced players in order to deliver. But I was really proud that along the way we managed to get, unlike the ladies team, we only got to the semis, but it was really good progress. And I think we would really do well to go back to that stage.
So for you, Coach?
Yeah, there were a lot of challenges when you compare the two, especially the previous one where we played 2021, where we became the champions. The unfortunate part there was the fact that most of our opponents, we never had even any idea of how they play, so we had to rely more on our own strength. But when you compare the two tournaments, you could tell that the one that we just played now, we were a bit of a different team. Why am I saying this? When you look in terms of the goals scored and the goals conceded from the previous one and this year, so it tells you that we worked a little bit better compared to the previous one. Previous one, we only scored 4 goals and we never conceded. But knowing Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, we are a free scoring team. So we were a little bit worried why this year, last year we were not scoring. But with the technical team, we worked on that and say, when we go to this one, we want to go there and be clinical. And believe me, in our group stages, we came out of that group stages with 9 goals scored and only 1 conceded. But like Sugar has said earlier on, it was a bit difficult for us to defend our title. It wasn't being the teams, they had all the videos, our videos of how, in terms of how we play, our structure and all that. Because when you look at our league, our Hollywood Super League, it's always out there. People, they get opportunity to see, this is how they play. If they're not going to use the certain starting lineup, sometimes they get to use this one. So basically, they had everything on us. And us, it was only for us to rely more again on our strength and believing in ourselves in terms of we'll be able to defend the title. But, credit must go to the girls. It wasn't that easy. When you go to Morocco, Morocco, it's one of those countries, loving football countries. When we went into that final, we needed to come up with something that will calm the players down in terms of when we saw the spectators outside while we traveling into the stadium. It was already packed before we could even enter the stadium. So,
and that's also new for the ladies.
True. We have never played in front of such a huge crowd, So we needed to calm the girls down. So we would go straight into the change room and go and warm up. But on that day, we decided to say, let the girls go outside the field and feel the pitch so that they can see before they could go out of the warm up and see the crowd in front of them. I think it worked. It worked on our favor. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 players it works against them. But overall, like I said, credit must go to the girls. We gave our best. We tried to to push it all the way to try and bring it home, but it wasn't to be.
I was really proud to see that we actually went as far as the final. And after the consistency of regular football being played, but the girls still had the legs to push towards the end of the tournament. It really showed a lot of character and determination from the whole team to say they still want to just go. They want to keep on going and going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the site, especially 2 weeks prior us traveling to Morocco, we had a couple of few injuries in the team, but because you got players that got big hearts and the support from the technical team in terms of helping the players to try to recover from the injuries, you know, so you could tell that anyone who was starting, they wanted it most, like more than anyone. So basically, the girls they fought for that one.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Coach. And you're looking at the tournament itself. Which game would you actually say that probably maybe this was one of the best performances from the ladies?
Okay, the one that I would say it was one of the best performances was a game against TP Mazembe. Reason behind that was our group was still wide open. We needed a draw in that game. When you look at the side, TP Mazembe side, they play more or less like us. But in terms of strength, they're stronger than us.
Yeah.
And when you look up front, they've got very, very, very quick players up front. But the manner in which we applied ourselves, I think that's one of the games that I believe we played one of the best game in our history. When you look at it and you look at the results, we managed to hammer them 4. You know?
Yeah.
So I believe that was one of the best games we've played in the tournament.
Do you think that women's football is headed in the right direction, considering how things are panning out, how things are happening? Do you actually think that there is a light going forward for women's football?
Look, Sugar, I can't say there's a light. I've already seen the light. When I look back where I'm coming from, when I look at, you know, fortunate enough, I've been with the women's football for some time now. When I look back in 2010, you know, you couldn't see anything. You never had faith that we would ever have our own league. You never had faith or belief that we would one day play Champions League. Here we are today, we're playing Champions League. And, you know, I'm saying women's football, it has grown drastically. Yeah.
And with you, Coach Zach, you alluding that you've been in women's football for such a long time. Now you've coached different generations of ladies. What makes this group that you have so special?
You know, Teko, when you keep on coaching and you gain experience, what makes this group so special? People, they don't know. I would say 60% of the players that are currently playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, they've been with the team for the past 10 years. So you know that bond between the players and the coach, the trust and the faith, it's there. When you coach the ladies team, you got to be as honest as possible with the ladies, because if you're not honest with them, they pick up small things. And at some point they tend to blow them out of proportion to turn them into a bigger thing. But if you are honest with them, it's going to be easier for you to have their trust, and for them also to trust you to say whatever that you're telling them, it's going to work out in the field of play. So basically, it's all about trust between the two of us.
I'm laughing because you say you have to be honest and there should be trust in between. I'm just thinking, if one guy is struggling with one woman, how do you manage so many women? For the past 10 years dealing with 25 ladies and
just on a lighter note, Sugar, you know, not long time ago, somebody asked me and said,
there's emotions, there's all these complications that you'll find.
Somebody asked me not long time ago and said, Coach, just tell us, how do you get to control it's about 28 or 35, including the technical team. And when I look at myself, you know, it never came to my mind that there was about 35 women that are, you know. I always say, I don't know how am I doing it, but I think it's by the grace of God. Yeah. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't of the guidance of God, you know, and believing in God to say, God, give me strength to be able to work with these people.
And Coach, you look at your journey. You speak about early on in your years of coaching the ladies teams, you couldn't see the lights. You couldn't believe that at one day you probably have their own league, organize football and play in the Champions League. What will be your advice now that you see things are opening up, now that you see that there's an organized league, there's opportunities for teams to actually go and play in the Champions League? What would be your advice for coaches that want to be in the women's football?
Yeah, for the coaches who wants to be in women's football, my advice will be, you don't just have to come into women's football for the sake of that. I want to be a coach, but you must be passionate about coaching, about coaching women's football. You must love women's football, because if you don't have passion and you don't love it, you won't see the reason why you're there, and the connection may not be there between you and your players. So to all the up and coming coaches, say they must be patient, and they must be passionate, and they must love the game. The game will love them back too.
Now, Coach, coming back domestically, Hollywood Bats League. You look at how all the teams now are starting to improve, and Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, I think it's the team to beat. And now we're speaking from a fan's point of view. Which team actually, when do you think it's got the most support in the league?
Yeah, it all depends, Teko. Most of the time, I would say, all the teams they've got their support base. When you're playing at home, that's when you'll see that. Mamelodi Sundowns, we've got lots of supporters. When you go and watch maybe your JVW, you would say they got a lot of supporters. It all depends on where you play. So if you are playing home, you will see that teams they've got a lot of supporters. Overall, I would just say it's about 50-50%. No team that's got more supporters than the other teams. Yeah.
So have you seen an increase in attendance of supporters in the ladies' football games? Have you seen a vast increase?
Yeah. So I've seen so much difference compared to the other previous year, where you would only play two teams without supporters. Now everybody come and support. It doesn't matter who's playing, and it has increased vastly. It has increased the support. It has increased vastly.
And then, Coach, you're looking at also your team having so many players that are regularly participating in the national team in Champions League. Now, from a fan's point of view, from your team, how much do you think the fans actually means to the players themselves?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot to the players, because I always tell my players and encourage them to tell them, whenever you enter that field, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the brand Mamelodi Sundowns. Those who are going to the national team, you're representing the entire nation. Yeah. So for them, it's really encouraging to see the fans coming down and support them. They feel valuable and they feel appreciated. So hence you see most of the time whenever we play, we want to give our all and give our supporters the best performance.
When you say you've spoken to them and telling them that there's a lot of people that are looking up to them, they're representing their brand, they're representing the nation at large. What do you say what do you have to say to the male supporters and the women supporters who truly do come regularly? Because I've seen our Mamelodi Sundowns supporters coming to games slowly but surely, beginning to find the balance in being able to attend both the ladies' games as well as the senior men's game.
Yeah, to all those male supporters and female supporters who are coming and supporting us, especially to our brothers, we really appreciate their support, for them coming down and support their sisters. Remember, it's not only the players that are playing. These players who are playing here, they are their sisters, they are their cousins, So if they see the support from their brothers, it motivates them to do more. Whether we like it or not, we know that men's football, it's been there for some time. We all idolize men's football. And when we see them, the likes of yourself, Teko, Sugar, coming to the stadium, most of the players, when they grew up, some of them, they grew up calling themselves, I'm Teko, I'm Sugar, So when they see those legends coming to support them, it gives them that extra oomph to say, I want to play to be at the level of Teko. And to the supporters, we really appreciate their support for coming down in numbers to support the team. It really means a lot.
Now I'm happy that all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, like slowly and surely, we begin to see ladies becoming role models into the space, because all along it's always been men, and because of the exposure that we're getting Now, not only you can actually attend the games, you can also watch them on TV. So there's a lot of exposure from women's football. So I'm happy for that. Now, Coach, now we're getting to the World Cup.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure you've been watching the World Cup.
A few games, I've been watching a few games, yeah.
So what's your favorite team right now at the World Cup?
You know, my all-time favorite team has been Argentina. Argentina will always be my favorite team.
Why?
Look, from way back when I started watching World Cup, I used to like their style of play, the way they play during the times of your Bruce Shaka, your Diego Maradona, you know. So when
How old are you? Diego Maradona.
I don't want to reveal my age, you know? So you know, I watch those games. That's when I fell in love with the country. And fortunately enough, I was also fortunate to visit the country. You know, so basically, Argentina will always be the team that I support in any World Cup.
And are you happy with their performance currently?
Nah, currently I'm not. You know, but you know, when I go back to 2010, Spain started the World Cup by losing one game, and they went all the way to win the World Cup. You'll never know. Argentina is a big team. It's a big nation. We'll definitely bounce back. See, I say we will definitely bounce back. I'm part of them.
I like how our sponsor has also managed to Hyundai to get Andile and Andisiwe to go to the World Cup. Who they are currently coaches themselves. Do you think that their trip to Qatar will actually be of benefit to assist them in their learning curve as they watch the World Cup live that side?
You know, our sponsor, it's been special. It's been always there for us. They've been special to us. I remember when we won the first CAF Champions League, they invited us to their headquarters and they spoiled us with goodies. You know, it shows that Hyundai, it's behind women's football and they want to support. With them taking Andisiwe and Andile Dlamini to Qatar, it's also another thing. It's an eye opener for the young one to say, if I work hard, the chances are there for me, you know, to get an exposure and go to this bigger tournament. Yes, Andile and Andisiwe, they've got the coaching papers, you know, and for them, it's not just going to be to watch the World Cup. I'm hoping that they'll be learning one or two things and come back and implement, whether into the team or into the development side where they are currently coaching.
Wena Sugar, what's your favorite team at the moment? Are you watching the World Cup?
Yes, my favorite team has just arrived and demonstrated who they are. Brazil.
Yeah,
you could see that the chances that we missed.
When are you part of them?
Yeah, no. You can see. I'm a Brazilian by nature, so the chances that we missed, we could have scored them. Yeah. But I think we're going to have a good run. Now you can see that the World Cup has begun.
Fantastic.
And you?
My what? My favorite team.
Yes.
I first of all, I see Brazil and Argentina going to the finals. And I think Argentina's got the strongest squad. Brazil has got brilliant individuals. But as a team, I think Argentina has. And they haven't lost in, I think, more than 30 games until they lost this game now. So it's going to be, like Coach Jerry said, I think that was an eye-opener. Might be a blessing in disguise for them to lose earlier on so that they can come back and bounce back. Because I strongly believe that in the World Cup, no team wins the World Cup by starting on the high. So you grow as the tournament progresses, and you're Germany, you'll forever find them in the quarterfinal, semi-final. So the one
experience.
So the experience always come to the fold. But I'm glad that you guys are watching World Cup, and let's see where it's going to end. Hopefully Argentina will bounce back. Hopefully Brazil will continue what we saw.
Consistency.
Yeah, but Messi, Neymar got injured, so I just hope that is because I feel like every big tournament we're supposed to step up, he always gets injured, and he got injured again last night. So I just hope that it's gonna be fine for the next couple of games. This is another show of Mamelodi Sundowns TV. Until we see you again with a different guest.
Peace.
Out.
Peace.
Yeah.